Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Ho Twins here for our second podcast. It's a second podcast. I'm not calling it a poddy. Podcast. Thank you for your feedback on the last podcast. We have taken some pointers. We've taken some pointers for it. For example, today we're gonna someone commented that a podcast is usually more conversation between the two people or the people on the podcast rather than talking to you guys, which is what we're used to doing. Are we angled enough for that? Maybe we sort of...
Yeah, we'll angle our bodies. So...
Another pointer. I instantly... That pause when I was like waiting for you to speak, I instantly forgot that there's no edit. Someone said, speak about your day. Ask each other how you are. Start conversational. So, how's your day been?
Today I was going like,
fuck. Wait, do I say I'm gonna? Well, you tell me how you feel.
Well, you and I have spent the whole day arguing.
Yes.
So it is actually 5:00 at the moment. We're filming that late. We're filming late, and we have to get it out
by 8. Really.
By 8.
Hopefully.
So hopefully that can be done. But nah, I feel like personally, what?
Are you gonna ask me how my day was?
I was just about to say that.
Okay.
I feel like personally today's topic was needed to be spoken about, so that's why we're pushing to do it today. Basically, how's your day been?
Blue light. My day was as you'd expect if your best friend stopped talking to you.
I fucking hate you because
not great.
You just make such light situation of our conversation.
But we won't get into the argument.
No, we won't get into the argument. Was it a
bad idea doing the dance at the top of the stairs?
Yeah, mate, it was a bad idea.
Because that's what I started laughing at when we were arguing. Yeah, I was thinking, what would happen if I just did this?
Bad stuff.
Okay.
Happened.
Anyway, so yeah, that's how our day went. So it's 5:00. We've got basically 3 hours to film and post this, which is actually in our favour because we don't have to edit this.
Yes.
Well, hopefully. So you've seen the title. You've seen what's going on.
What is the title
going
going to be on?
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I said you've seen the title because we need to decide that later. But Luca, you've seen what's going on in the news. You've seen what's going on social media. More importantly, because I guess the social media uproar is what's brought it to our attention. Because bad shit happens all the time, and we don't feel the need to talk about it, but I guess you can thank the social media uproar. Which I want to that has instantly made me think of something. Someone was saying to me of something that someone had put on their story going, just whacking something on your story isn't going to do anything. Right here, proof that it has done something, and actually... To say
no, but okay, yeah. I suppose
we haven't actually said what we're talking about. I cut into that really quickly.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I don't know the umbrella term for it.
Okay, well, we're talking about the events that have occurred, and the social media noise that has happened since the death of Sarah Everard. Right.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
I think actually more specifically, I've spoken to some like girls about this, and her advice was to speak about this from like a male's perspective, but also
which is all we can do.
Which is all we can do, but to ensure that like this, to be honest, okay, we're gonna put our hands up there. I personally feel like I'm having like trouble to decide how to voice my opinion on this, because basically we have a platform, a small one, and we feel like it's worth us talking about it on. That's not really the point.
Wait, sorry, before we get into this, someone reminded us to say there might be trigger warning topics in this podcast. You know what this topic's about, so if this is going to be a trigger warning... Sorry. Perfect time.
Sorry.
For that, really. If this is going to be... There may be trigger warnings, so please keep that in mind. Maybe don't listen to this if that concerns you. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, okay. I'm muddled.
Yeah, I think...
No, okay, so you're wiping it. Okay, starting fresh, but don't ignore what I've just said. We're not here to start a witch hunt, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
We're not here to point fingers and to get angry at people. And we're not here to sort of sit. We're not here to sort of tell.
I think basically
Well,
it's touchy because it's such a sensitive topic that we're so cautious. You and I are so cautious of stepping on toes or saying the wrong thing, and I think, to be honest, what we can say confidently is our intentions here are entirely right. So I think if it comes to the point where we say something that might be wrong, we ask you to call us up on it.
Yes,
we're going to say exactly our opinions, really, and that's all we can do.
And okay. There's so many things I want to be saying.
We should have Well, have you? I've got a list.
No. Okay, no. Wait. So, for example, okay, like I said, call us up on it. But also, like, I think it's important to realise that, like, this is a time, and unfortunately, something terrible had to happen for this to be kick-started. But it's not too late for something to be started, and this is now a time for us to put an effort into educating ourselves. And that's not to say that Oscar and I sitting here doing a podcast on it aren't saying that we know everything there is to say about it.
By a long fucking shot.
Call us up on it, and then we will make an effort to learn and change that.
Right.
But the other thing is that, like, I don't want to come across like we're pointing fingers, because I think some people can shut off from that approach.
No,
right?
100%.
No, well, okay. I bring it up, right? I'll just start it like this. I bring it up.
Yeah.
Well, I bring that up because you see the videos on social media about people saying all men are to blame, right?
Mm.
And we know some guys, you know it, that some guys will shut off at that and be like, okay, I'm not to blame. And yeah, directly they're not to blame. Like, they directly may have never ever done anything harmful or like harassing or anything. But the idea behind that all men, I guess, is to show that, like, if you're not actively going against it, or
yeah, this is exactly what Jamil,
yeah,
the lovely woman from The Good Place, she said this. It's the hashtag all men. I keep as if I'm not talking to you. Stop listening. I'm talking to Gaff. It is the all men. It's not the hashtag not all men. It's the hashtag all men. If you're not directly going out your way to call your mate up on something, go up, like, offer help, like, doing the shit that's actively going to make change, then you are accountable to a degree.
Yes, exactly.
It's a tough pill to swallow.
Yes and no. I don't think. Okay, this is what I'm trying to get around to.
It's not. You are.
No. This is what I'm trying to get around to. It's not actually a tough pill to swallow. When people are saying all men are to blame, take responsibility for that as a man, and don't be offended. Because it's the hard truth, but it's not an offensive truth. They're not trying to. When people are saying that, they're not trying to, like, knock men down and be like, you're trash. Because the fact of the matter is that all men are responsible for I suppose, not actively trying to create comfort.
Exactly.
And there's so much.
So I think, going back to how we introduced this video, I think we want to make sure that we're saying we might not know exactly how to do something or what to do, but the one thing that we agree on is that we are 100% for making change, and everything we want to do is towards making change. It's not necessarily to say, oh, we know all the right things to do right now, because no one does.
And it's important to note that it's like from this point on, because yes,
that's
as we've discussed this with our friends, and as we've all pointed out to each other, actually, Oscar and I, and as I'm sure most boys you know, have, maybe without knowingly, mistakenly, made inappropriate jokes in the past, or like done something that insensibly. But that's what I'm saying is important to come from this, is that don't take offence by someone calling you up on that shit, because it is your fault.
Yeah.
But it will continue to be your fault if you don't make an effort to change.
100%. Everyone's got a second chance.
Exactly. It is okay to have said things wrong, and it's okay to have, like, maybe been insensitive in the past, but
this, I think, sorry.
Well, I'm just saying, as long as now.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, again, I go back to saying, unfortunately, something bad had to happen for us to now evaluate this, but I would rather now be evaluated than never.
I think but it's actually it's proof of how ingrained it is into all of us that, like you said, you, me, everyone, all of our mates would have done something in the past which you wouldn't have even realised is something that is an issue, and yet it is, and that is just because it's so normal.
Yeah.
And that proves really to everyone how normal it is in our society for men to act a certain way and how it is for women to feel.
Okay, and I think that brings us on to like I think what I was going to try and base the conversation around was about the pyramid of violence, right?
Yes.
But before I say that, just really quickly touching upon to just basically relating to what I just said, that it's the cancel culture when it comes to sensitive topics that ruin the chance of change, because when people make a mistake, cancel culture and people on social media are so adamant on running this person into the ground when the person has a chance to correct themselves, apologise, and then educate and hopefully pass on that new education onto their followers or whatever, right?
Yeah.
That is what facilitates change, not just cancelling someone because they did something wrong will not facilitate change.
Yeah.
So in most cases, right? So I think what that was relating to.
My mind is a jumble
Yeah,
right now.
I'm jumping in and out of everything, and
I've written some stuff down.
I keep like noting things in my mind palace. So yes, what I'm saying about this and talking about this is that there's a sensitive topic present in the social media at the moment. If people have acted wrong or doing something wrong, teach them and try and enlighten them to change. Yeah. Don't just try and cancel them because that's not beneficial.
Agreed. This is going to be controversial, but like when I've seen I've got the name on my notes.
Hold on, can I just finish off what I was going to say?
Go for it.
So that is what Oscar and I are trying to do on this podcast today. We're not trying to point fingers, we're not trying to blame, we're not trying to tell people off. We are trying to normalize the conversation and just you can listen to two normal blokes who 100% have said insensitive things in the past with no malicious intent. Just light went off. Just by desensitization, like you said, it's desensitization to like the topic.
Yeah. Pause. Pause while I put the blue light on.
Oh, how are we doing so far? Is this okay? Is this right?
Fuck knows, to be honest.
Right, what were you going to say?
If I'm completely honest with you, I blanked out for the whole however many minutes we've been doing this.
Check through my notes
real
quick.
What I was going to say is in line with people shutting off when they hear stuff. Yeah, I've got a name in my notes, but I'm actually not going to call it out. As we're giving the male opinion on we're two people who strongly agree with what's going on right now, but we're giving our side. If you take off on social media going, men are this, men are that, men like, where the thing is the hashtag not all men. Whoa, hold on a minute. Oh, first thing men do is not is they want to like pass the blame. Well done for like going off on rants is never and has never will never help. It's just okay, but like you said, witch hunting, pointing the blame and shit. You like we've had mates that have instantly gone, well, hold on a minute, I'm shut off. I feel blamed and that's it. But
actually, before you continue,
was I wrong in saying that?
Maybe unsympathetic because from a point of oppression or whatever, or just fear and stuff. You're emotional, right? And you will voice an emotional opinion.
Yeah.
And you can't. Sometimes it's hard to what they're saying isn't necessarily in the wrong. It's just what you're saying is you don't agree with the delivery.
Yeah.
It doesn't get through to you, but it might get through to some people.
It doesn't.
But sometimes you're emotional. Sometimes emotion. Okay, and I think when the message itself is correct, then delivery is hardly it's pinpointing. It's being pernickety. I think. Maybe.
But when it comes to a world where you are influenced by a 30-second video on your phone, delivery is everything. Realistically,
right. So
it's a massive issue.
But you're pointing out on the fact that she could have been talking about anything.
I suppose. But it does seem to be specifically in terms of topics.
Yeah, because it's touchy and people get worked up about it.
No, but not on that sense. Like, fair enough if you're emotional about things, yeah. But it seems to be specifically on these sort of topics where people shut off more readily. If someone was getting animated about, I don't know, fucking,
I suppose, yeah.
the new iPhone coming out, someone ranting about that and shit. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well. Okay. So
food for thought. But
so next thing I was gonna say is that.
Can I check my notes a minute?
Yeah.
Well, you speak. I am.
Okay.
Listening.
Well. Okay. For example. Should we slow down the tempo a little bit?
I feel like we've just. Yes.
Okay.
I actually have something which I wanted to introduce it as, and I completely forgot.
Well, we're past that now.
I suppose we are.
I was gonna say, okay. We have been taking a lot of time and a lot of conversation over this the past 24 hours.
Right.
And in my mind, I've been really trying to understand what benefit the podcast could have on this situation. Like, what will us talking about it do? And then what way can we address it to have most beneficial effect, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then talking to like our mates and stuff, like other points are highlighted, other horrifying points that you don't want to agree with, but probably you have to agree with, okay? Things like psychopathic, horrible crimes will always happen.
Yeah.
And for those of you who think that it's not worth fighting against because these horrible crimes will always happen, this podcast will hopefully show you why actually, even if we can't eradicate the horrifying psychopathic crimes, hopefully this podcast will show that eliminating lower level things and small things like jokes and things can and will help women feel safer in society.
I think
sorry,
go on.
Well, I'm just gonna get it all out because it's a jumble.
Wait, don't go on to the pyramid yet.
No, I'm not, because I think what people are potentially losing track of in this, whatever this movement or this noise on social media is that it seems to be, from my research, whatever, it's focusing on the fact that women don't feel safe walking home alone, and then women are made to alter society tells women to alter their actions to make themselves safer, right? So this whole thing should be, first off, men should alter their actions to make women feel safer. And then, obviously, you're going to always feel on edge walking at home, dark, alone, blah, blah, blah. That walking home dark, alone, regardless, because that's outside, alone, in the dark, is a scary scenario.
Yeah.
That's what people have nightmares about. But what I'm saying is shit like, and then this is what the guy tweeted, asked on Twitter, like, what can men do to just simply make things less uncomfortable in public outside? And I think that's what this main thing is trying to promote. Right? Is it? To
be honest, I was following you, and then I think you sort of.
I think
I
went too far.
Skipped a line. I think
in your
so.
Brain. But
you missed out the bit on, because you were saying, yes, obviously you're always gonna. It might be a scary thing to walk outside.
Okay, no. Okay, so what what I was saying is that hopefully this podcast can enlighten people on realizing that this movement isn't trying to eradicate fear in general, because that's impossible. We can't eradicate fear. It's about improving women's experience and comfort being outside alone, and not to have to expect the worst from everyone, because that is what they're conditioned to think.
I think at the end of the day, yes, we're talking about women, but realistically it's anything. If you can do anything in your day which doesn't inhibit you but may make one other person feel more comfortable, you may as well do it.
Right.
So I think that's what this is about. It might be extreme to go, every time you see a woman, I've got to cross the road. But on the off chance that it makes her more comfortable, cross the fucking road.
Yeah. And touching on that specific point, this is, okay, in my opinion, we next briefly talk about the pyramid of violence.
Wait, but I want to talk about you saying about people always going to be scared walking in public, and you see that a lot as an argument for all women shouldn't walk alone.
No, because like you said, it's the distinguishable fear.
Yeah, but you didn't say that.
Okay.
And that's what I mean. I think you missed out a line in your head.
Okay.
So Lucas said
Fuck, I'm gonna forget. I know.
Luca said about how
I'm just gonna let you talk.
it seems to be an argument that people are saying, oh, obviously you're going to be scared walking home alone at dark. Obviously, there's always going to be the fear that someone's going to come out and rob you. Yeah, but the fear of being robbed, punched in the face, mugged, is a different fear. It's separated from the fear of being captured by a group of men and being sexually assaulted in the park. It doesn't compare. And so, yeah, you might be scared. And another thing, you might be scared, but you're only scared of other men. You're not scared of a woman following you who might jump you. You're not. So that's what you missed out because you became one of the people a minute.
No, okay, yeah.
Grouped into one thing.
Yes, okay, fine, yeah, I didn't mean to come across like that. What I was saying, okay, and then going back to you're right. So hopefully now we can now discuss things that can make women feel more comfortable. Like you said, right? You said if walking across the road might make someone feel more comfortable, then I lost it. Shit. Lost what I was going to say about it. Okay, moving on to the next point.
Wait, it feels like we're still introducing the video.
Yeah, I feel like we've tiptoed over it. Like, as in we were just.
Wait, no, hold on.
Like,
I wanted to say that. I just wanted to make sure that.
You know when like in English and you're told to talk about something and then you only say like that or it and never the actual specific thing. That's what I feel like we're doing.
I also think we've done, that introduction paragraph where in this essay I'm going to be talking about this.
Yeah.
And then that's taken a page and that's the extent of our essay.
Yeah.
But we'll give it a go. We'll keep rolling.
It's
our second podcast. Come on, guys. Because we really brushed over this, but this actually, how long has it been?
21 minutes.
20 minutes. We've done that already. Okay, so we brushed over this, which really I think this should be actually one of the first things that was highlighted in more detail. But we believe that this is what's happening right now is a model for what can make change. So our goal is only to normalise the conversation, only to normalise the fact that it's okay to call your mate up on saying something inappropriate. It's okay to like call someone out for being weird or something. They might not be doing it maliciously, but this whole conversation and topic is not something to be tiptoed around.
Yeah, and I think that people are afraid to call someone up on it because they know that their friend making a weird joke isn't actually going to do anything horrible, but he's just making a bad joke, and then you think, oh, maybe I shouldn't call them up on it and stuff. But like, it's okay to educate your mates, and it's okay to make a joke and then be like, oh shit, actually that was wrong. I'm not going to do it again.
And that leads us on perfectly.
Okay, so now let's hit the next thing.
Come on, now we're getting into the real shit, baby.
Right, after doing some research and stuff, my sister's fiance showed us like a really cool video, and
teach me about it.
Okay, well, it's nothing. It's so simple, and it's what all of us actually would know. If it's just logic, right? And it's not basically. It's called the pyramid of violence, and you can relate it to sexual assault.
What's the pyramid of violence, Luca?
All right, okay. Thank you for asking, Oscar. All it's saying is that shit works in a pyramid, okay? And as you move up the pyramid, the assault comes progressively worse. And the way you move up the pyramid is by accepting the level below you.
Right.
So with things to do with the sexual assault, for example, with sexual assault, which is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
The bottom level would be like jokes about sexual assault, jokes about women, jokes, sexist jokes, whatever. All this where you, at one point in life, one time or another, you've heard it and you've done nothing about it, and you've just gone, yeah, all right, cool. Blah, 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 and it's happening amongst your mates or whatever, right?
But can I ask, if it's around me and all my mates all the time, surely I'll get normalised to it?
Well, okay, so... Okay. So, yeah, obviously, so that's the thing. If you then become normalised to it...
that's when you go, yes, Oscar, that's exactly what might happen.
Yes, Oscar, that's exactly what might happen. In which case, then you may move up to the next level, which could be... A more direct crude joke, a catcall, something more direct and something that might really make a woman feel uncomfortable, sort of maybe to her face rather than to your mates. Mm-hmm. And then obviously if then that happens,
and we think that becomes acceptable.
Right, we're just going to restart the camera real quick. So, within the pyramid, as you become desensitized and things become normalized, you then start to move up potentially. And it's not saying that everyone who jokes will eventually move up to the next thing, but the idea is
it's the likelihood.
It's the likelihood, and the idea. So the idea behind this logical imagery of it, the pyramid, is so logical, and it could be so simple. You cut it off at the base. You cut off the shit that happens at the base, which we all know now, or we will try. Not all know now. Like, we're all striving. This is what we're striving to do now. You cut off the lower level shit in the hope that then the next level shit doesn't happen. And it's not saying that everyone in the lower thing will go through, but if 10 of you, and this is actually where a nice little analogy got sent to me about ticks, right? You don't generalise. Well, okay, forget it. That's getting too busy. What I'm saying is, if 10 of you in the bottom level, all joke about it, it's not saying all 10 of you are going to go up. But if all 10 of you stopped talking about it, no one's going to go up.
It's simple psychology, really, in the sense that if every day so you go hunting, right? The first day you kill something and you go, shit, that's actually quite bad. The next day you've killed 3 things and you go, well, that's easier now, I've killed 3 things. A week later you go back, this time you go hunting, you killed 10 things and you're not even thinking about it anymore. Whereas the first time you think about it, that isn't like, you as a person haven't changed, just the action itself is no longer a big deal to you. Yeah. And that's what the pyramid says. It's like, you initially might hear a joke and go, oh, that's actually not quite right, but then you're submerged in it, in a group of lads, everyone's doing it, and you think, it's funny, it seems to be funny, and everyone's laughing, it's not an issue. And then you move up, because you go, that's fine, you go, shit, well maybe
exactly,
that's fine.
Exactly. So, actually there's like, everyone knows that now, like that is laid out, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So this now is just basically a call to you guys, and it is actually just a call out to people who, to just cut that shit and be the person to step up and be like, actually that's not cool. And you can still make jokes and be funny, just don't make jokes and be funny about this topic. And
going back to,
and it's not what?
Well, going back to what I was saying, like, yeah, it might be completely harmless, but if it's going to make one person at least a little bit more comfortable, you may as well just do it.
Out of like the 10 of your mates, one of them might grow up, keep making jokes, surround himself in his next group of mates with people who also make those jokes, but 10 years down the line, he could be a serious offender.
And it's like, you might think, it's a massive jump to go from making jokes and like actually physically sexually assaulting someone, but it's actually not. If you think about it, you're making jokes, you're then pointing at someone, you're catcalling them, you then go up to someone in the club, you slap their bum, and instantly you've made like physical contact, which is completely unacceptable. But you're at that point where you think it's okay to slap someone on the bum. So like, that instantly is a massive step, and then it can be broken down. Just lift someone's skirt up. Like, do you know what I mean? It's very easy.
Yeah.
And this is not, again, reduce ourselves. This is not a witch hunt.
Yeah, exactly. So my point being is, if your mates are having a giggle about these sort of topics now you've heard this, don't consciously ignore it, because that's pretty fucking shitty.
It is actually okay and normal to be the one person that goes, hold on, that's actually not alright.
And it's okay to then educate, and it's okay for your mates to have made the joke, providing they then learn and be like, okay, shit, yeah, put my hands up, won't do it again. That's okay. You're not being a dick for calling your mates out, because your mates may not have known. And if they did know and they were still making the jokes, cut them off. And
anyway, if they didn't know, you've educated them, and now they're still making the jokes, then they're just being straight up wrong.
Okay, yeah. I didn't want
not
this,
witch hunt.
I didn't want this direction in this. That is just a point to make, and that's like hopefully what can come from it. Moving on. Right.
More in your head.
Well, just next point to be made. Okay.
I haven't looked at my notes really at all. I haven't made any of my notes.
Okay.
Points.
Well, next point to be made. We put on our story okay, this is where I was then thinking about how we can deliver, or what content to put in this, like important content. And I suppose at the end of the day, if the goal is to make women feel more comfortable walking home, which it is, like, if you strip it back, she was walking home, right?
See, well, I don't think it is a strip back. That strip back, like, to what caused the conversation, but I think it's greater than just that.
Oh, yeah, for sure, definitely.
That's just a very minor part of what women have to put up with walking home alone.
Yes. Okay, basically, this guy called Stuart, the tweet guy,
Yeah.
he put it out. It was like, what can I do to make you feel spooked walking on the street? And that got loads of positive response.
Saying all it is, what you can reduce it all down to, is the fact that women don't feel safe walking. Because that's not what it's all reduced down to. It's the snide comments anywhere in the club, the greasy men. Like, it's not just reduced down to.
Because what I was going to say is, because I asked, like, what can we do to...
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It's the way you phrased it sounded like you were reducing all of this noise down to a woman doesn't want to walk on a street, and it belittled. It sounded belittling.
Right. Okay. So I went, yeah. Okay. For sure. On your bit.
Just be like, and I'm not belittling. Be like, sorry, I'm not belittling. I'm not belittling all of it to a woman walking on the street alone, but this is one small subtopic which can be solved.
Okay. No, for sure. And I'm not belittling it all. I'm not like narrowing it all down to this one thing, because obviously women feel uncomfortable in many situations.
It's a larger problem than
But what I was saying is,
this is something
that can definitively be seen and learned as well. I think a lot of the time people think like it's very difficult to create change and make a difference because like what the fuck do we do? It's such a big such a big picture, but actually it's not. There are little things, and it came back to you what it said, like you saying about walking across the street. There are little things objectively that you can do to just make people feel more comfortable, right?
For sure.
So we asked, and I thought that would be basically quite a nice thing to include in this, because for those of you who are watching, those of you guys who are watching, could just sort of maybe take note, because I've definitely learnt it as well, because we put it on our story, we read like articles on it. That guy who put it on Twitter, was his name Edward or something, put it on Twitter asking, and like actually I've definitely learnt more of what I could do just by looking at these few articles and things. So, do you want to hear some of the Instagram responses, Oscar?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll show you.
Brilliant.
For example, walk your friends home. If they're leaving your house or your flat or whatever, offer them a walk home. Don't make them go by themselves. If you're in a big group of drunk lads walking down ready to get into a club or something, or a pub, and you know you're all good boys just out to have a nice time for yourself, if a single woman is walking towards your group, they are going to feel intimidated. So, cross the road.
Disperse a little bit.
Stop
making as much noise.
Stop Stop staring at people like weirdly. Okay. Uncomfortable stares. Staring in general. Staring. Don't stare.
I mean, I think that's a social rule anyway. I think.
Yeah.
Not to
honk in your car and wolf whistling and stuff. And we had an interesting catcalling. We had an interesting discussion about this because, right, men clearly think that catcalling, honking your car, originates from a compliment, like wolf whistling. You're attractive, right?
Yeah.
But then Mum made a fair point, and you were saying it's about the respect, the level, putting across your opinion respectfully.
The way I put it is, it's like tossing someone a fiver and handing them a fiver.
Exactly. So
I think, but also it's not. No one. The thing with catcalling, no one catcalls and thinks, "Oh, I'm going to take her out on a date tomorrow because I just catcalled her." There's never the intention. You catcall to impress your mates, and you get a laugh out of it.
True.
No one ever goes catcall because she's going to be the future mother of my children, because you wouldn't do that. There's no respect.
Yeah,
in catcalling, and I think that's
all right.
Something but then again, but that's something which I think is probably unaware. You don't think about it. You think, oh, it's funny, and then that's it, and that's actually conversation over. But it's not conversation over. It could be something that plays on the girl's mind for a long time.
Well, I saw why. I actually read about why that's uncomfortable, because it shows that you're being looked at.
Boom.
If they're across the street and you're walking by yourself with your headphones in and you hear someone wolf whistling you, it proves the fact that you're being stared at and you didn't know about it. That's unsettling.
I think also a reason why it might happen is because if you're walking down the street as a lad and some girl goes, "Ooh, damn!"
What?
Why did I do that? But as in if
what?
what? Oh, I've gone so red.
I'm not sure.
But if you got catcalled,
said it with
if men, I did. It's because I couldn't stop myself once I started.
Oof.
If a man, I said it chest. If a man got catcalled, he'd probably be chuffed with himself. He's skipping down the street, tell his mate, phone in a group chat, just got catcalled.
Yeah, because the level of intimidation isn't returned from a woman.
But I think that adds a certain innocence to men doing it, because if it doesn't cross your mind that she's not going to receive it in the same way I do.
Yeah, well, this is the other point about putting yourself in the woman's shoe, is that actually the way it is in society is that women will feel more intimidated by men than men will feel intimidated by women.
True.
So that's just potentially the man just not maybe looking at it from the woman's perspective, because
Yeah, exactly. So that's the level of innocence. So it's not. That comes back to us being like, we're not fucking. You're in the wrong, because people make mistakes unknowingly. Yeah. And that's the whole point. And there's definite reasons why someone might do something wrong.
Okay, other things, if you want to know.
Are you sweaty?
No, I think that's because you're embarrassed.
Oh, well, possibly, but I'm also sweaty, I think, regardless.
Other things, don't walk too closely. If you're walking the same way, cross the road, walk away, or maybe just walk past. Call your mates out if they're doing something wrong. Okay, and then there was one that was said, and I'm not sure if I entirely agree with it, and I suppose this is us practicing what we preach by kind of calling it out in a way.
Yeah, anyway, so this guy said, whatever we change will be taken out of context to make us look bad. Love the vids, heart. So yeah, thank you for loving our vids. So this I think is where it goes like, that isn't actually the case. The simple shit, like you making the conscious effort to cross the street, or you calling your mate up for making a sexist joke, or little things that can be done to make women feel a little bit more comfortable, can never be called up against you. Those sort of mini changes that will in turn make big changes physically can't be called up. And if you're doing something which you think this could be called up, then you're probably not doing the right thing. If you're doing something that you're sure, if you're doing something completely right, it won't be called up. It can't be.
Yeah, this is what I was saying. This is why I was saying I think that segment was kind of important to include, because it's an actual definitive answer. There are definitive rights. There are definitive rights. In regards to this, there are definitive things that will make women feel more comfortable. And I guess what the whole idea is that, like you said, I don't think it's on the forefront of men's mind to be conscious of women's struggle, because men have never had to experience the fear that women have had to experience. And I was guilty of that until last night when I was having a discussion with someone, and actually I don't know the fear of like literally being taken and sexually assaulted. I know when I walk through a park I've got the fear of potentially being mugged, right? But I've got the fear, like you said, doesn't compare. And I think when men come into this sort of topic, they try and... It's harder for them to sympathise, basically. I think it's harder for them to sympathise.
Yeah.
So, it's naivety. So, all I'm saying is educate yourself. And then maybe...
Yeah. I think...
I don't know what I said then.
I
don't know what I said then.
I was thinking, hold on. So, he's repeating something that we very clearly spoke about earlier on.
There's so much I want to say about it.
The issue with this topic is... Right, so... We're very passionate about the topic.
Let's give it one more attempt.
I think, really though, we've been going for a long time. I think we've covered a lot of shit.
I think we've covered everything in my notes and everything we've covered.
Hold on. Don't hold on entirely, because you sort of need to say some stuff.
I suppose.
Should I just read my notes out?
No, skim over it. If we
okay, so yeah, one thing. But the thing is, it's just... We know this shit.
I think after having the talk this morning was like that we know that you can't eradicate something massive amongst your mates, but like you said, to make change, the lower level things and the little things have to be changed first, and that is as simple as it gets with this shit. Like, and if you don't think you're in the wrong as a male, unless you're doing everything, like unless you're going out of your ways to try and make women feel comfortable. You are in the wrong, but not in the.
You can just be held slightly accountable.
But yeah, right.
To summarise, right,
Full circle.
We think we're gonna cut it there, but
we're gonna attempt to round it off.
I think basically, if you made it this far, if you're gonna take one thing from us doing this video, right, it is only we're passionate about the topic, and we just think we're doing this to normalise the conversation, to reduce all the negative stigma around talking about the topic. We only want people to realise that little changes can make big change, and we at the fucking Ho family are the people that can literally on a day-to-day basis do something to actually make a difference.
And in line with that, it's okay to be making the change now. Like,
right,
even if you've gone through life and you ignoring your mate's sexist jokes or making them yourselves, if you're hearing this now, then it's time. It's now you can make the conscious effort. It's not too late to just be like shit. Educate yourself, right? And so
this is really seriously not like a blame or us on a moral high horse, because we've definitely done shit which you can go, hold on, that's definitely wrong. Yeah. And this is literally a realisation now, after this tragic event, that shit needs to change and shit can change. And we, as like people on the internet, are able to make that change. So just go out your way and fucking consciously do it.
And if you can do one little thing in your day to make a woman feel more comfortable, for example, crossing the road, smiling, just letting your presence be known, stepping and taking a step back or whatever, do it.
It's worth it. If it's going to make one... And that's not, to be honest, it is in line with with the sexual assault topic at the moment, but it's not necessarily, it's as general. If you can do something in your day which doesn't affect you but might help someone else, do it. If it's no expense to you and you might help someone else, just fucking do it.
Equally, it's not embarrassing to call your mates up on something if they've done it wrong.
Yeah.
Because
should we just keep on...
Yeah, let's
keep on summarising. Anyway, that's it. To be honest, we're part of the Ho family, mate.
Yeah.
The thing about Hoes is...
We are the most loving family on the internet.
We love everyone. Hoes love everyone. It's what makes you a Ho. So just act like it. Do it. And if you can tell other people to do it as well, who aren't even Hoes, just tell them.
Seriously, thank you so much for listening to us blabble on about this. Like, I don't know if we did it concisely or correctly, but hopefully what we have shown you is that talking about these sort of topics can be acceptable and normalised. And
I hope it was watchable and listenable.
Yeah, I hope you can follow it. Because to be honest, I lost myself.
I have no idea.
Definitely lost myself at some point.
Holy shit. Okay. Anyway,
and I'm back in reality. But
fuck me, that was tough. But that's the sad truth. We're struggling talking about a topic which shouldn't be struggling.
Yeah.
Which shouldn't be struggling. But anyway, hopefully this is where change can start to happen. With the force. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you. Love you all. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Love you all.
Next podcast out next Friday. Posting Monday to Saturday. Fuck. Love you all. Arrivederci. Mwah.